All right, what's up, everybody? We are the Specialists in Nothing. As you know, we already talk about pretty much everything and anything. We're getting there. As always, Joe and Danny with me.
What's going on?
How's it going, everybody?
Tonight we have a special guest. Our friend Darren is here. Darren put out a 90s nostalgia club at the school that he teaches at. He's been teaching through COVID and all this stuff, but kind of before COVID hit, you put together this club for the kids, right? Tell us a little bit about it.
Hey, what's up, D?
What's up,
What
everybody?
up, D?
What up? Okay, so the club was pretty simple, actually. I had to do something to, you have to show some school involvement. I had to get what's called tenure at the time, so I'm not a probationary teacher anymore. And I thought this was a good way to do that because I don't want to do some other club that I just don't care about.
What made you choose the 90s club?
Yeah, so I think it's just something that I care about because I know endless knowledge. I have endless knowledge, rather, of not only music in general, but this decade in particular, okay, as we all know from, knowing each other. And I wanted to show kids, all about it from not only just things that you can teach them on paper factually, but things that I can speak to from my own dorky, endless, useless knowledge that I can throw at them. Right, my point of view, my perspective.
Experience.
So what I did was every week, it would be once a week. I bought a bunch of games. I had to spend some money. You gotta bribe them a little bit too. You gotta bring some snacks. Got Hawaiian punch jugs. I had fruit roll-ups, but that was a mistake because they went way too quick. There was no limit. I didn't put up a limit 3 even for myself.
So wait, these were high school kids, right?
These are high school kids, and these are the kinds of kids where, like, don't forget, they're 16, 17, 15 to 18, whatever. They're rocking the Kurt Cobain hoodies, and they don't even know who that is half the time.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes they do. 90s culture has crept back in, and that is now trending, which means we're now getting old, which means I got to do this. You know what I mean? So it's that kind of, it hit on that sentiment, and this is right up my alley. So they loved it. There was no club like it before. I play music. They play board games, Etch-a-Sketch, all different kinds of things, Jenga, whatever. I gave them a complimentary bracelet when they walk in. Not this one. These are more like Pottery Barn tip, but like the neon ones. Remember back in the day?
Okay, I got you.
A little Saved by the Bell squiggles on there. Teach them as much as you can. There was a lot to cover in 45 minutes. They liked chilling out, and I just wanted to give them the best experience that I knew to deliver on.
Of your 90s nostalgia.
Of my 90s backbone, nostalgia-ridden, knowledge base.
All right, so that actually is a great segue into tonight's episode. We'll be doing 90s nostalgia, and I know Frank loves to give this definition. So
actually, before you even said that, I was just gonna say
Webster.
So basically, we all know that Darren loves 90s nostalgia because it's basically just a wistful or excessive sentimental yearning for a return of some past period, and this being the 90s in specific. So Darren loved the 90s, and he wished that it was the 90s all the time, basically.
24/7, 365.
No, but
Not
yeah,
all the time.
No, well, don't get me wrong. The 90s was definitely my favorite decade too, like 90s and 2000s, I would say. But
everything was happening, man.
Yeah, the 90s was a great decade. Yeah.
Everything was happening.
It's funny because there's like a lot of people these days who don't even know what it's like to be part of that era, and they all claiming like he said, wearing Kurt Cobain outfits or wearing whatever the fuck it is, different types of memorabilia from that time they went around. And I think that was probably the last generation to actually be raised.
Well, because we're so used to thinking like it's like 10 to 20 years ago, but really now it's more in the 20 to 30 years ago range. And exactly when you think about kids in high school, 15 to 18 years old, and you're talking about 20 to 30 years ago, they have no knowledge on that. It's not their fault. So like, yeah, I mean, in a sense, we are getting old. I mean, I was at the bodega the other day and somebody called me sir, and I was like, what? No, what? No. Like,
ew, don't call me that. What?
But
sir, I'm no sir.
But so going through 90s, I mean, we can get into any part of it here, but what was your favorite part of the 90s, Darren? Video games, cartoons, music. What was your favorite part of the 90s?
I hope you don't have work tomorrow because you need to cancel next week.
That's okay.
Next week. I would say music's the best. I mean, look, let's be real. Everybody who's here right now, we could all appreciate the fact of, look at this kid's shirt right now, speaking volumes as it is. We could all appreciate the fact that we grew up with
Stimpy, for those of you who can't see it.
Absolutely. We grew up the golden age of cartoons, you know what I mean? And animated everything. Not only do you can just start there. we had Nickelodeon, obviously. You had your first 3 Nicktoons. That's Doug, Ren and Stimpy, and Rugrats. That was the first 3 ever. Once
I
1990
love
hit.
the Rugrats.
Look, they were 80s cartoons. I have an older brother. People have older siblings. Things predate what we went through. But what we had was so prolific because we had Nickelodeon cartoons. Then there was the Disney cartoons. You know what I mean? You have like Goof Troop and things like that.
Yeah.
Then you
Cartoon
have
Network.
the Fox 5 cartoons like The Tick and
yeah.
Earthworm Jim and like Gargoyles.
Batman the animated
Oh,
series.
We
Gargoyles,
had
I love
endless
Gargoyles.
amounts of I love Garfield, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? Like there was a
Right on.
Sonic cartoon.
Yeah.
There was Super Mario Brothers on early in the morning.
There was, and
before school. I used to watch it like
Yeah.
6 a.m.
Absolutely.
See, I liked the Super Mario's movie with John Leguizamo with
Yeah, that was a good one.
the thing with the harmonica.
Man,
But no, see, when I go back to
Network,
thinking
like
in
that.
when I go back to thinking in 90s cartoons, my favorites are Rocket Power and Angry Beavers and
Angry Beavers.
Angry Beavers was one of my favorites. Ed, and Eddie
Joe's
was
got
one of
an
my
Angry
favorites.
Beaver.
Cat Dog.
Oh, I love Cat Dog too. Yeah, that was a good one.
Good.
People were big on Hey Arnold. I love Hey Arnold, but I didn't love
Eh.
all the ones we're talking about as much as the early ones. I love Angry Beavers, though. I was all about it.
Okay. I like the
And-
Wild
Courage.
Berries.
I was a big Courage fan.
Courage the
Cowardly Dog.
Yeah. You know what? Based on what you were saying, they had like that Fox type of cartoons.
Mhm.
I remember specifically, my sister and I would wake up in the morning, get ready for school, and we would throw on like Saved by the Bell, or like I said, the Super Mario Brothers cartoon would come on. We'd go to school, we'd do our thing. School was dope. We'll get into that in a minute because they had that fucking that huge ass balloon thing that everybody gathered in a circle with, and you like play up and down. You remember
Oh,
that
the
shit?
thing
You know
that
what I'm talking
I
about.
know what you're talking about. The like canvas thing.
Right. But
What was
they-
that, pre-K, Danny?
It might have, dude. I don't know.
I think it was Birth to Two. I don't know.
See, I remember everything in like groups though, like when Angry Beavers came on, Cat Dog was on, like stuff like that was on together. Dexter's
Right.
Lab, Ed, and Eddie came on together, and then
Dexter's
Well, that's
Lab.
what
Yep.
I'm saying. Like, then you would have Gargoyles, you would have Power Ranger,
Right.
Batman the Animated Series. That was like the dinner time crew. I would
Right.
watch that while I waited for my father to come from work and shit. And
Honestly, to that point, he just mentioned Power Rangers. There were live action shows because that's just cartoons. That's just like that's for shits and giggles. You know what I mean? That's that stuff. You got Saved by the Bell. Then you got once nighttime hits, you got TGIF, all those shows, the ABC shows, Step by Step, Family Matters, all the ones with that raspy guy
Full
who
House, Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
his name is Jesse Frederick. See, that's a piece of dorky knowledge you probably didn't know. He sang the Full House
Sabrina.
theme song, Step by Step theme song, Family Matters as well.
Growing Pains.
Growing Pains. The shows were endless. We had a million shows, a million cartoons, a million genres of music. It was endless.
You know what's funny? So like since Netflix has come out now, or like more recently, I've said to people, because there's so many good series out that are out like nowadays, like Mandalorian and this and that. Like there's just so many stuff that's good out, like series nowadays on TV. And I feel like it's because people stream like seasons of stuff, and like movies haven't been like as good as they used to be in the 90s, because 90s movies to me, there's so many movies from the 90s that are like my favorite movies of all time and stuff like that. But now that we're talking about it like this, like there was a lot of 90s TV shows too. Like, cause I always say
A
like,
lot,
oh,
so
TV's
many.
better now and movies were better in the 90s. But like, there was a lot of good TV back then too, I have to say.
Baywatch, 90210.
I think there's a big, you know what it is, and I'm a big, supporter of not just like, like, look, I'm with the times. I watch people make fun of me. This
You
kid,
just
whatever.
sounded so old. I'm with the times.
I'm with the times. By the way, I'm old as fuck.
I'm
No, I'm kidding. That statement really says it, right? I got a bunch of DVDs that I got all the time. I get them, regularly because I like to watch certain movies. I'm an eBay loser. It's what I do. That doesn't mean I'm not watching Netflix or Hulu or all the other streaming services. But there's a thing called the paradox of choice. When you have too many choices, you shut down. You're like, I don't even want to watch anything. And 2 hours go by, you could have watched a movie. You instead get up and leave. So
I do that a lot, honestly, actually.
right, and we all do it, but the reality is when the internet wasn't as big in every single household ever in the 90s,
Yeah,
we
you
got
had
to
to put it in.
appreciate what was put on TV, and we chose accordingly there.
Yeah,
We
no,
didn't
you're
have
right. I
endless
used to fall
choices.
asleep to the same DVD like every night and wake up to like the
Exactly.
menu song playing in the morning. Or
We had a lot of choices with what to choose from, which to choose from, but we didn't have like so many that we shut down.
yeah. Well, I guess
So-
DVDs was more like 2000s though. No, like VHS is more like 90s, I would say though.
Oh,
You-
yeah, the 90s
It was
movies.
all about the VHS
Yeah, yeah.
in the 90s.
Because I was saying, like,
gotta
now thinking
see.
about it, like waking up to like the menu playing with DVD, that was more like 2000s, but like in the 90s specifically, it was more like VHS, like having those like things that like
VCRs, yeah.
No. Yeah, VCR, but remember having like those separate machines that would just rewind the VHS tape for you?
Oh my
Like,
God. You would pop it in, close it, hit the button.
and it would just rewind. So like if you had a bunch of tapes where like your kids would watch and like they would all be on the end, they didn't rewind them before they put the next one in. You could just use this thing and rewind all your VHSs and stuff. Like I remember shit like that.
It was a worthy investment. I think the technology lasted like 5 years. It was great.
Wow, rewinding tapes. That's funny.
And then Blockbuster would screw you over if you didn't.
But it's funny because
they charge you for that shit.
So me and Karen, like just from our parents and like, you know, people passing on stuff to us and like whatever, like now that we have kids, I have all the Disneys on VHS. Like I have the whole lineup of like 40 different movies on VHS of all like the original like cartoons and stuff.
Let's real quick before you get into that. I want you to know that on eBay, if you have the original case and it's got the black diamond edition and it says it on the case, then bro, that shit's worth money.
Good luck getting somebody to buy it though.
Facts.
It'll be up for a while.
You're going for like 40 grand for Beauty and the Beast.
It's specific ones and stuff, and they have to be in like perfect condition and stuff. But yeah, no, you're right. But no, so
they're not.
I do have like
on them as a kid.
Yeah, exactly. Like I do have though, like the whole lineup of the stuff because when we first like she was old enough to have a TV in her room and stuff, we put the VCR in there. I wanted her to see all the original stuff, and then Disney Plus came out like a couple months later, and we were like, all right, well, I guess we don't need this anymore. And now she has a smart TV in the room and Disney Plus is on there. So all the movies are just like little trophies on the shelf in her closet, but they're there.
When it switched over from VHS to DVD, I think I remember my first like 2 or 3 DVDs was Bronx Tale, Ace Ventura 1, and Armageddon.
All great movies.
That being said, my collection has expanded 14 times.
Yeah, what you have like 2 whole bookshelves.
I'm about to get into it. Joe's DVD collection is beyond
boxes.
Really?
Nobody will ever compare to my collection.
This
Really?
guy, listen.
Yeah. Oh, big time.
He's got doubles and triples.
Doubles.
Such as The Godfather, the Matrix trilogy.
The box sets.
Back to the Future ×7.
I have to interject just for a second, D. I'm sorry that Joe not only had the Godfather box sets, but he had the ones that are made. It was aluminum. Aluminum box set that I use.
The metal ones,
like special edition.
4 copies of them. He had like 4 copies of them. Like his parents, like talked to Francis Ford Coppola themselves, like just to get the copies as if they were nothing, and they glittered all over his basement at the time. I'm like, I'm no big deal.
Joe's family would go to Best Buy and come back with like 18 new DVDs.
Yeah, man. Like, anything that was new when it came to DVDs, they were bought right there.
But that's just how crazy it's become from VCR to DVD. You know what I mean? Like just the technology in general from the 90s into now.
Oh yeah, because like now with the streaming and stuff, unreal.
You could stream on your cell phone. You could call it FaceTime and shit. That's so futuristic compared to what
grandma.
it was, dude.
My grandma loves it.
It was a Nokia with the snake, and it was that was some old shit. We had a
Snake game.
I love Snake.
Snake 2.
No, but my grandma is the same thing. She loves it because like there's this movie Coupe de Ville from like back in the day from like the 60s that she could watch it now on like her smart TV and she loves it. Like streaming is the best. But no, yeah. I was gonna say for me, my favorite part about the 90s had to be video games. Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, like Dreamcast, all of those systems that came out around like that time. That was like, I wish I could still go back to that because now it's like kids online that move faster than I can. And like,
if I didn't beat 007, GoldenEye, for me it was 1,000 times over.
I was stuck on the last level on Star Fox for months.
Star Fox is so hard.
Oh, it was the greatest achievement ever when I finally got it.
I was never big into video games. I was like Game Boy or occasionally it was Super Nintendo because I would rock Super Mario World or Biker Mice from Mars, shit like that, you know? Like, and then PlayStation came out and there was that jet ski game. You remember that? I forgot what
Wave Runner, Wave Racers, Wave Runner. Oh my God, for 64.
Yep, I remember
that game was awesome.
That game was dope.
The graphics went from like NHL 95 where it was like literally box people, and then look at this now. It's so incredibly fucking like to the T of detailed.
I think they
I
played
love it too.
SR-71 right now in there. Right now. You know that song? Remember that shit? 2001? Anyway,
No.
nobody does. Good. Anyway, if you heard it. I semi agree about the video games. I just honestly I wanted to. I was big on Genesis. I had Nintendo. All
Sega
that.
Genesis was
Right.
big.
Genesis was
Sonic.
my biggest one. Right. But Mortal Kombat for days. That was more my shit.
Mortal Kombat.
My parents didn't want to
So
afford
good.
me a 64, so I had to play it at all my friends' houses. That was my story.
No, it's the same thing
Wait,
though.
I
Pause real
think
quick.
64 is the best system of all time. That's just me.
You know that they are making a new Mortal Kombat movie. There's a new trailer that just came
There
out.
is,
It's
and
supposed
I
to
Oh
love
be-
yeah,
I
it
can't
looks
wait to
so,
see
it looks so sick.
Yeah, I honestly
It really does
wasn't
look
always
awesome.
like that into Mortal Kombat, but now that it's coming out and I saw this, I was like, oh my god! Like it's like anything else comes out from your childhood, and you want to go see it. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a lot of movies are being remade from the
Yeah.
90s up till now. You know, I mean,
Some good,
RoboCop
some
was
bad.
from the 80s, but it's like
What,
RoboCop,
babe?
all that other shit. They're just being rebooted because they're running out of ideas. Hollywood's running out of ideas. Same thing with TV shows now. They have Fuller House, which I guess is kind of cool because it's like a
I watched it. It wasn't really that good.
I didn't think so either.
I don't need reboots for.
Yeah.
I mean, look, some of the things that we love, like songs, are covered in life. That's the age-old thing that will always happen. I don't need reboots because he's right. They have run out of ideas. People love the reboots because it reminds them of that sense of nostalgia.
Yeah.
But the people who are real like grassroots about it, like us, the real losers, we know
See,
what
but-
it was a ridge was best.
There are
On
some
these
that I
movies.
like though, like Beauty and the Beast. Loved the real
see,
live
like,
version.
Disney's
remake.
another
Time
realm.
out.
Disney's
Yeah,
a whole
I
other
was gonna
thing,
say,
right?
you
Because like
can't
people
really get
love
into that.
Pixar. I love Pixar now. Reboots on that could work fine, but I still dig classics.
No,
But
I agree with you.
support
I don't
that.
get me wrong. There's some movies that definitely shouldn't be touched, but some of them, I mean, I don't mind some of the remakes. It
Like
depends on.
Jumanji, for instance.
Yeah, that didn't need
That
to be
should have
touched.
been left alone. You know what I mean? They're coming out with some new movies, and it's
No, it's
like
okay.
they're trying to, I guess, gauge the audience of what it is now. But at that point, like people want new shit. You know, if they came out with like a Captain Planet movie, that would be dope. Or if they came out with movies from
Did
the
they
90s.
ever do a Captain Planet movie? I
No.
don't think so,
I
right?
don't think so. They just recently did a Sonic movie with Jim Carrey, which I don't know how well
Horrible.
it did, but they're coming out with a second one. But I'm
It
saying,
wasn't
like,
that great.
if they came
Sonic
out with,
looked decrepit.
if they came out with movies based on cartoons from the 90s, I think that would be cool. Like
Oh,
a
wait.
Mega Man fucking
We
movie,
talked last
that would
time
be
about
dope.
like the Space Jam 2, and you said Lola Bunny was like.
Not sexy anymore.
I saw the trailer yesterday.
She
and
didn't look. She
No,
looks exactly the same.
Yeah,
Just
I was gonna say
newer.
she looks exactly the
She
same.
didn't look-
I thought I was like, Danny, wait, because when I was watching with Karen, I was like, wait, Danny said she looked like heavier.
newer.
No, she looks
Danny,
exactly the same.
wait, Danny quote unquote says she has cankles now.
Yeah, he
She
did,
does.
right?
She don't got
she
no
doesn't.
kanks.
She looks exactly the same.
I don't know. Maybe I've just matured.
No, maybe it's just a play for body shaming to prevent
Shallow
body
Hal
could be
wants
it.
a gal.
That could be it.
shaming. She got cankles. Women have cankles. Deal.
Good movie.
You know, that kind of thing.
Great
Oh,
movie.
actually, real quick to jump back onto reboots, Darren and I just watched the Animaniacs, the new version of it.
Oh, like the new Looney
Yeah.
Tunes and stuff.
Yeah, no.
Well, I'm saying they redid it with
So
Looney
they're-
Tunes and stuff too.
We watched Animaniacs a couple
Oh.
weeks ago.
Not the new one.
It was
Did
all
we?
good. Yeah, because they came out with a new season of it
No, I know
in
that. but
2020. Yeah,
did
we
we-
watched it.
Oh, I don't remember.
We were so
Darren
pumped.
wasn't there.
Yeah, all right. Well, Darren doesn't remember that. I
Yeah.
watched it.
Okay. Yeah.
So they did or
I've seen that
didn't
it
watch
exists,
the
though.
new Animaniacs that came
I'm an
out.
Animaniacs nut. Animaniacs is if there was a cartoon that embodies my whole soul, it is basically Animaniacs.
What I'm trying to get at is watch the Animaniacs because it was good and it was
No.
up with the times. It wasn't corny. It wasn't forced. It was good. It
It was
was
educational.
Well, now he remembers.
It was Animaniacs then brought to 2020, and it's
What-
just dealing with the shit that's going around. It was really cool. I liked it.
It wasn't corny like Jinko jeans.
Those were the shit,
Yeah,
and I
keep-
still my parents couldn't afford those either. By the way.
Keep popcorn.
I actually never wore a pair. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, were they Paco?
Me neither.
Paco?
Yeah.
Paco was a thing too, right? Jenko.
Pipes.
Jinko.
Jenko.
Jenko and
Yes.
pipes. They were like
Mhm.
$70 each. Your parents needed 4 side jobs to have just one pair.
I don't
See,
know. I rocked the corduroys and the overalls for a minute.
I personally miss my starter jacket, like the starter windbreaker. Those
Those
were
are
the
dope.
best. Those were the
Oh, the
best.
basketball ones were
They're
the
coming out
best,
with new
man.
ones.
I even saw them. I was gonna say,
With, like the half zip.
yep, that's what I was saying. I even saw them coming out like on Facebook. I saw an ad for them, and I was like, oh my god, I want to get a Jets one so bad.
Fuck the Jets.
Especially they have like the old school like Kelly green, like the bright green ones. I love it.
Those are pretty cool. Like they had the jogger sets where you had like the pants and the jacket.
Like the Adidas, like the jumpsuits type of thing.
Nikes.
Yes, but it was more like fluorescent type, not fluorescent. What's the
Loud ass colors.
That's
honestly.
a good. Yeah, we'll go with that. Loud ass colors.
That's what they sell all this at Urban Outfitters now, and they charge like $85 for like a Tommy Hilfiger sweatshirt that looks like your mom washed it 40 billion times.
Yo,
right?
I know.
And that's what it would really look like. Authentic, they got it, but we used to get that like a lot cheaper. Even the Hilfiger stuff.
I used to love rocking like. I know K-Swiss is a little later, like more 2000 stuff, but I used to love rocking like Fila's, Adidas, K-Swiss, like stuff like that.
I was big.
I went to go buy a pair the other day. Like I was looking because I only have one real like nice pair of sneakers. So I was like, oh, I want to get like another pair of sneakers. And I was looking at Fila's the other day. They're like $80. I was like, Jesus Christ. Freaking Champion sweatshirts used to be like the cheap sweatshirt back in the day.
Dude.
All the kids want to wear Champion now. They're like $50, $60 sweatshirts. I can't believe it.
You used to get that at like Kmart and Modell's, and it was nothing. And it's like, please, like, no, you're getting Champion now. They're the it brands. They've been for
That's
the
what I'm
last
saying.
like 5
Like
years.
I used to get Champion at the Walmart all the time, and now these kids want to wear it, and it's in the mall. I'm like, what? Champion was never in the mall. Maybe at Macy's.
The mall itself has changed from the 90s. Not the mall, from the 90s till
Oh,
now.
malls in the 90s were the best, man. Nothing will ever
Dude.
beat that.
That's
Yo,
hanging out
you
spot.
remember they had this? I think you do. We spoke about this. It was called Natural Wonders.
Yes.
You
Oh,
remember
absolutely. I own so much shit from that place. You don't even know.
Do you want those devil sticks?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
do the, did
Remember
you have the
those?
thing?
You usually
Did
twirl
you
them?
have the thing with the little thing where it feels like
Oh.
you're
Wait, was it like the two sticks and there was like one and you had to like keep?
Yeah,
is that what you're
that's
talking
the
about?
devil stick.
Yeah. You like juggle.
Are you talking about like that gel thing?
Yeah, it was like a little
in
jelly
plastic?
thing. I had like a little vagina on the outside, but like you can never get through. It was like a Narnia vagina. Like,
Oh
you know,
yeah, you like just kept squishing it and it would like endless. Yep, I
They
know
had a
what you're
ton of
talking about.
buckets with all goodies just like that.
It was one. It was a log. It was like 3 or 4 feet. And you
Log,
would turn
log,
it
log.
upside down, and it would hear water streams.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I remember those, bro.
Yeah,
And they
or
had
like
that,
the
like-
little thing you would look in and spin the freaking thing on the
Yeah,
end.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
like all the different weird images.
It was like that. Also, it was like a glass case with either sand or liquid in it, and it would go like side to side, and it would like fill up, and then it would go to the other side.
It was electrical, right? You would hit the thing and it would just like balance one side and it had
Yeah.
like the blue gel in it.
What you call it?
Yeah, so
I
they
gotta
had,
know
like-
how much. I mean, I know it was more board games and stuff, but how much of this stuff did you like? The kids in the club and stuff like that you showed, like how much were you able to show them? Because I know you could talk about whatever, but like, well, I guess you could look stuff up, but I meant like physically bring stuff in, like you. I don't know how, like you don't have a light bright anymore.
No, but here's the thing. I like I said, you got to come prepped and ready to go because that's the way I knew it would work best. I'd have kids sit in stations. I'd have a big Walmart type bucket. Got a bunch of games. I had like Don't Wake Daddy. I had Trouble, Hungry Hippos, all stuff like that. Monopoly, Scrabble. I would tell them like, listen, this is how we did in the 90s.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Open up the box. Read the little directions where they want to look to their phones for it.
Yeah.
But obviously that's not what a little pamphlet from Milton Bradley had in mind. You know what I mean? I'm like, figure this shit out, bro. It's raining. You have one TV in the house. You pull it over when you're trying to go to the bathroom and take a shit
Yeah.
and watch the basketball game, and then
I
put it
love
back
it
in
too
your
because
mom's room.
he had one TV with the Sega Genesis on there for them, so everybody had like share the TV or the board game. So it was
Yeah,
truly
right.
90s in Darren's classroom.
Exactly. So it's close enough. And so what I would do is really just I would play songs. They don't want to listen to me speak the whole time. Obviously, it's not a class. I wanted to make it chill and fun for them, which is exactly what I did. They liked it.
So would you
I
play like
speak
hip
to
hop,
them-
rock? Like would you play
Right.
like?
So a lot of the times they wanted hip hop, obviously, because those are the kids most into. But I would show them rock. I would show them like everything, you know, Blink 182 to Matchbox 20 to Collective Soul to like Green Day, you name it. I had different days with different genres, but
Okay.
I would just pause and I'll be like, guys, this artist was blah blah blah, huge. Lauryn Hill, huge in the 90s, like pioneering of hip hop R&B, you know, Mobb Deep, Diddy, whatever, who was known as Puff Daddy. I give them little lessons from my background knowledge and let them resume playing. That's really what it was. And they came back the next time. Plus I did bribe them, like I told you.
All right, so let me ask you, D. In your 90s class, when you brought these games, did you bring games such as like
Mama, 90s club.
What'd I say?
90s class.
90s class?
Yeah.
Whatever. 90s. I'm sorry. Not whatever. I apologize.
Well,
Your
he said,
90s
"Don't Wake
club,
Daddy."
Darren. I apologize.
He
Give
said,
credit.
"Don't Wake Daddy." Hungry Hippos. Well, speaking of which, Hungry Hippos. My daughter just got for Christmas, but it's not Hungry Hippos anymore. It's Hungry Turtles, and they're 4 turtles, and it changed.
So it's Ninja Turtles but slower
Oh wow.
and not cool.
It's just 4 turtles, like the shells and like it was just different. I was like,
They don't want
what?
you to
It's
finish
just
that
the
game.
hippos. I was like, what?
What I'm
like
saying
I'm
is-
curious, is that part of
Where's
cancel
the
culture? Like,
hippos?
that's what I'm saying.
Definitely cancel culture. Nothing is unintended.
Are hippos derogatory now and they need to change it to turtles? Like, I don't understand.
People are getting offended because they're getting too fat.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But like, all right, so did you bring in like Operation or Boggle,
Operation.
Trouble, Sorry, any of those?
Trouble was
Okay,
such a good
and
game.
like
In a
Love Trouble.
bucket, ready to go. They pick. Okay, a lot of kids like Jenga because it was simple. I had like a hot potato pass around thing. Like I said, I had Etch a Sketch and like Magna Doodle, a couple like individual. Because there would be kids who come in who they don't know everybody there, but there were some kids who made friends. Different groups of kids come at different times depending on their schedules, because they do other clubs too. So
And
you know,
you mentioned. So this is something actually that he said earlier. You had that basketball hoop that you had on the door.
oh, that's when it got
That
turned
shit
up.
was fire.
I got a
used
good
to-
one too.
I used to have a Lakers garbage pail, and with the net on it, you just curl up your fucking paper and you throw it in, and then by the time you're done with it, you gotta. Just...
I remember those basketball. I used to set that thing up, and then I would have like my little brother or sister stand in front of it, and I would fucking jump up, slam the shit right out front of them in front of the door,
Or they
run
had
around my
those-
room like I was Michael Jordan.
they had
Mine was
those really
actually a
cool
laundry
lockers with
basket.
plastic lockers.
The lockers
was,
were sick too.
Mine was actually a laundry basket. It was a New York Knicks backboard with like the orange rim, and then like the net was just a giant like laundry.
Oh my God,
basket
remember the
for, like,
garbage
put your
pail,
clothes
too?
In there.
Oh shit.
You used to have like those little garbage pails with like your baseball team on it or sports team.
Yeah.
Okay, like
We can still
literally
get
what we
those.
just talked about.
No, but
It
wait,
wasn't here.
so, I know you said you brought fruit roll-ups and stuff like that for them, but like it had to be hard to bring certain 90s snacks because there's not things like you can't. I mean, I know right now you can get Dunkaroos because they happen to come out for like.
What did you just pull the thought from my head? Yeah, I know.
I was
The
saying
new
they
ones
came
aren't
out
as
at
good, by the way,
ShopRite,
just
and I
curious.
was like, oh my god! But like same thing, like a year or two ago, like Ecto Cooler High C came out again for like a month, and like
Right.
different things. But like besides that, you really only have like Lunchables and like fruit roll-ups, fruit by the foot, really. But
So
other
to
than,
that
like,
point,
Kool-Aid-
right? You know, you're absolutely. That's a very fair question. The snacks themselves were not the defining, element
Mm.
of the nostalgic throwbacks. Okay, yeah, I'd throw in some Teddy Grahams there, and obviously Doritos are an eternal brand. They
3D
were big then,
Doritos
they're
are
big
back too, but they're
3D
different
Doritos do-
flavors. But
Been
they are
there.
back.
now. Been there.
Oh, so good.
Spicy Ranch, Cool Ranch.
Yep, and the
Should've rocked
nacho
my world
chili
every day.
cheese or whatever. Oh, so good.
Excellent. So yeah, the snacks took a back seat. It was just, I mean, the Hawaiian Punch, because they have like lemon breeze, lemon berry breeze. They have all these flavors when it was just OG red back in the day, and that's what I told them about. But you only have 45 minutes, so you want to get to the nitty gritty, and they'll let them just eat and have a reason to stay.
Did you bring Lunchables for them?
No, I didn't, but I showed him Lunchables. And like when Kobe Bryant died, we did a Kobe Bryant day. I showed him old videos of that. I showed him
Nice.
Jordan.
Word.
There's so much ground to cover that you really can't even get it. I showed him Mrs. Doubtfire during the holidays, Home Alone 2, but they don't even want to sit there watching movies. They want to chill and talk to each other. So
Yeah.
even though I show them an episode of Fresh Prince, I just have it rocking in the background. I speak to it. They know Will Smith because he's still relevant.
Yeah.
There's certain things, there's certain battles. It's not, I don't want to say battles you win, but there's certain, points for, attentiveness that you'll gain. And then some you just got to let go and just
You feel
let
like
them
there's
rock.
so much to compile
It's
into
too
that
colossal.
45 minutes or an hour.
You
Exactly.
And
you
I-
should have held a
and I'll
you should have held a school book fair.
Yeah. Well, it's just like us trying to compile like as much as we want to in 45 minutes in an episode sometimes, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
know.
it's
I
just
so-
so much you want to say and so much like whatever.
I told
But,
them
like-
about Goosebumps too. I told them the intro songs were a creep fest, and like now they're way more tame.
I was talking to these guys the other day. I was trying to figure out because we were talking about books and stuff like that. There was a series of books that I remember. It was like, I don't know if it was the Boxcar Children or what it was, but it was like these kids that like solve mysteries. It was like a group of kids that were like brothers and
Scooby-Doo?
sisters that solved mysteries.
Ghost Rider.
No.
was a
That's
show.
what I said, and he was like, "No, that's not it."
It's not it. I don't remember what it was though.
Dude,
But
that's
wait.
what I said.
So
She looks like she just figured out that she's pregnant.
I wanted to go back to something else he said too, and now I forgot. Oh, my drink's getting to me. Oh, I forgot. Dang it.
Way to go, a-ho.
Something else that he said that I lost
Real
it.
quick, just to bring it back to like what he was talking about with toys and stuff. So he had the board games at the 90s club, but there was so many other stuff that kept yourself busy when you were by yourself. Like there was stoop ball. I don't know if you remember quarter ball, where you put the quarter in between the cracks of the cement. You got to hit it with a handball.
No.
There's skip it, bop it. They had jump rope. They had pogo sticks.
Sit and
fucking
spin.
Hopscotch, sit and spin. This is shit
Sit
that
and spin.
people
Yo,
when
I
say
packed
shit and
2
spit,
Tamagotchis the other day at work, and I was like, "Oh shit, they still sell these? I didn't even know they still
They
sell
ran
them."
those back now, and I did
Yeah.
pop it in the club, by the way.
Well, same thing, like, because Jenga is now like a thing, like in the bars and stuff, because they have like giant Jenga and like stuff like
Right.
that. So like Jenga's like a game that's like come back around now too to be
But-
like popular.
what I'm trying to get at is a lot of these games that are making a comeback at bars or shit like that. There's stuff for groups, you know, even like he was mentioning before with his Hunger Hippos or Sorry or whatever shit like that. Kids these days, they don't have that individuality where they can entertain themselves, you know, like when I was a little kid, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, I was playing with my Ninja Turtles, I was playing with my Power Rangers, my Batman, you know, shit like that. I was playing with my Matchbox cars, my Hot Wheels and shit like that. And I was content for 3 to 4, 5 hours doing what I had to do because I wasn't so involved with what everybody else was doing, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, you want to go out, you want to go play down the block, you want to go play kickball, dodgeball, softball, baseball, whatever you're playing with your group of friends. But when it came down to it, if you're in the house or it's raining outside, you got to keep yourself busy, you know? And there was a lot of shit that I can personally think back and look at and say, I had a great childhood because I wasn't so involved with my phone or my electronics or, you know, obviously times were different because we didn't have as much technology as we do now. That being said, the internet is ruining their fucking lives. Joe's got a Tamagotchi.
Oh
in his
my
hand right
God,
now.
that's funny.
Still in the box.
Bring it
That's
back.
Okay.
hilarious.
Look
That's
at
the old one?
that.
That's the old one?
hilarious.
This is an original one. Yep.
Wow.
Still got it.
That's
Never
awesome.
leaves me.
Is that worth money?
That's it's gotta
just
be.
like
I mean,
Probably.
like,
It has to be.
I mean,
It's on the
even
bar.
in another
I don't
10
even
to
know if
20
it'll
years
turn
or so.
on because it's so old.
No, you
Don't
probably
open
just need
it.
to change the battery. That's all.
Go with
Leave it.
I
Joe.
wouldn't
Go with
open
Toy
it.
Appraiser and then buy us all like hotel
Boxes
suites
of-
everywhere.
He's got a
This
Hot
guy
Wheels.
got a
Who knows
Charizard.
who knows how important this is?
I do
That's-
actually.
yo,
I think it's important. And
no
I
joke.
don't even collect those, but I know.
No joke. You know, we know someone that like grades and sells those, right?
Well, please let me know because I have a shitload of them that I need graded. I'm serious.
No joke. I'll talk to him. We'll talk
I
about it
have
on the side.
a book of holographic cards from the Pokemon era.
No, but whatchamacallit? So
What
I
I was
remember what I was
saying
gonna
is-
say before
All right.
too. Hang on. So
No, okay, I'll stop my story. You keep going.
but I remember what I was gonna say. That's dope.
Darren,
He said about Kobe.
You want to play with a little yo-yo?
Yo-yo.
He said it-
I
he
got
said-
a yo-yo chilling right there.
He said about Kobe and I just got to say, like, so it's funny because basketball was my favorite sport growing up. It was like the only sport that I really paid attention to until I got older, and then I started watching like football and hockey and other stuff. But when I was like younger, like elementary school, middle school, it was really basketball, and Kobe Bryant was everything. Like I know people always talk about Michael Jordan and like this and that and like blah blah blah, and like don't get me wrong, like I saw like the end of that era, like the very end of it, and like it was like an era that was relevant still around my time. But like I really saw Kobe Bryant throughout my whole childhood. Like he was like my idol or biggest basketball star when I was around. And I gotta say, dude, seeing him die so young in an incident like that, an accident like that,
Really
is
sad,
just
man.
so sad. Like I've talked about it with other people, and like the only thing that like I could picture is like him holding his daughter, like going down, and like that's got to be the worst feeling in the world because like you want to say it's gonna be okay, but you know it's in your head it's not gonna be okay. And like I
At
just
that point, you can't lie to your daughter. Yo, we about to die. Nah, I can't.
no, but that's what I'm saying. You're not gonna say that. She was like what? How old was she?
11.
Like 13? 11? Yeah, okay. I was gonna say
Think so.
13.
Pretty sure.
So, but I'm saying she was
13?
young.
Something like that.
I thought
Like,
she was
you're
young.
not gonna say that to her. You know what I
Too
mean?
young,
Like,
it doesn't
so-
matter.
It's just, it's that's so horrible and terrible, man. But it's life's short, man.
And to think that was the craziest thing of 2020 in the beginning of 2020. Like,
That
Yeah.
started.
that was bananas
everything.
enough. honestly.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, yeah, that's some wild shit. I can't even. I was gonna say like 90's events and stuff like that that brought it back, but I don't know. We could get too much into it, so maybe we'll save that for another time.
Mhm.
Because I don't know. Yeah, that's some OD shit.
I mean, I don't mind. We can get into it. But don't,
Nah,
don't
we're
mind.
real quick. What I was saying before we got into this stuff is that you were cool to like be by yourself. You know, you didn't have to necessarily be with people to keep yourself entertained. But now with the internet and shit, we were stuck with AOL and we had dial-up. You know, we were so excited to get mail. You know, when you got mail, that was the best thing in the world, or an instant message and shit. Now we're texting each other and like we just ignore that shit.
Who had the best away message?
Oh, away message.
I don't remember what mine were. That's the thing.
I remember doing the recording on my phone to like get the voicemails, the music or whatever.
Oh my god! You used to have to rip like a 30-second clip to put
Yeah,
onto your Nextel.
To get to your ringtone and stuff.
To put onto my nothing. I didn't get a cell phone until I was like 18. To put into my dreams.
I actually had a pager that was like a clear blue plastic that you could see like the inside of it or whatever. I remember that. I definitely remember that. I had that.
I was too young for the pager era, man.
Really? That was like
I never had a pager.
Man, my brother had all that.
When I was in middle school, like my mom used to let me go out and stuff, like, you know, single mom at work or whatever. She used to let me go out and like whatever. So like I had a pager, so that way if it was like getting to the point where she needed me to come home for something or like this and that, like cell phones weren't really like, they were kind of expensive still when they were just coming out. So
you called it a pager?
Yeah, or beeper, pager.
Beeper.
Same thing.
They're two different things.
Yeah.
They're two different things. The beeper, here's the distinction. I thought this was very obvious. I guess not. The pager had the little mini screen when you held it sideways and the 3 big buttons. The beeper was more like the drug dealer one, where like you have to lift it like
it just
this.
said the
like,
phone.
The little digital screen that's like the 80s digital screen. The pager had more like the 90s digital screen, which were both shitty.
Yeah, so I think it was a pager because it had I would get like messages and stuff on it too. It would say like other things. It wouldn't just say like the phone number to call back. So yeah, I think it was a pager.
If I'm not mistaken, I think the pager also had its own plastic case where the beeper had the clip attached to it itself.
It was like a little chain.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't know. I think you're making that up. But chain wallets. Yeah. Chain wallets.
Chain wallets.
Going your Jenkos that, again, I didn't have. So. Fucking
funny.
So, that's funny shit because a lot of people would have like cordless phones were a big thing when it came to the 90s. We had the cords for the longest time. I remember when I was first growing up in Brooklyn, we had the cordless
cell phone.
What?
You talk about like before that with the briefcase cell phone or like the kitchen phone that had like the 50-foot cord.
That's what I was just gonna get into. The kitchen phone. It didn't even matter to have a cordless phone because that cord. You could go to the 4th room in the same level. You go upstairs.
That cord would wrap around the whole house.
That was because before cordless phones, if you wanted to have a private conversation, the only way you could have it is if your mom got the 50-foot cord that you could go to your bedroom.
Go into the bathroom and hide for 12 minutes before she's like, "Come on, it's dinner time. Get out of there." But once they had cordless phones, they had those cool clear ones that you could see through them, just like the beepers. They had that cool fucking like neon blue or the fuchsia purple or shit like that. They had the clear white one.
No.
They had the same thing when Apple first came out. Those computers that I don't know if you guys remember, but I was in like maybe 6th or 7th grade when they first came out. There were those clear giant Apple computers. They were fucking huge. They looked
fucking
like
boxes.
Oh yeah. Like in Zoolander, the thing when he's like, the files are in the computer. That one.
They had orange ones, blue ones.
Teal.
I remember.
Yeah, teal.
And they had all those. And back then, like coding and doing shit on the computer was the most difficult thing in the world for me to learn. I was in 6th grade.
Man, remember computer class, bro, in high school with those things? Oh my god.
Speech and typing and whatever. I remember that, like doing the typing, it showed you how to keep the 4 fingers on each key and like use your index finger and your other finger to separate and like all that. I remember that. My biggest piece of technology, like don't get me wrong, AOL and AIM was like big. I loved AIM, but Walkmans. I miss having my like CD player, like my Walkman, like with the headphones and stuff. Like I remember walking to the bus stop playing the same CD on repeat, like all the time.
You pick those songs. I'm thinking burnt CDs, but yeah, obviously, if you're rocking an album or you're doing whatever, you are gonna listen to those songs because it's like if
CDs.
you paired to ever hold a magazine or a book. What happened?
No, I said burnt CDs. My man's talking about LimeWire now.
Oh, LimeWire, Kazaa, anything that's thievery.
Kazaa.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Napster. Did you forget about Napster?
Napster.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
That was some crazy shit, man.
It wasn't until LimeWire though where I started to get sketched out. Like, oh shit, I'm gonna get caught illegally downloading this shit. They're watching my computer right now. Yeah, you always thought it was over. You were done.
They're gonna seize my shit.
It was
my dad's gonna kill me.
It was never all over, and you always could keep downloading. I remember when Napster was actually shutting down. My brother and I tried to download 4 songs. It took like 4 years, and like it's like, oh, Kazaa's here. The next day, I'm like, oh fuck.
That was good shit, though.
It was funny though.
No, they had those cassettes. So in my, I guess, understanding, we had a CD player, but the Walkman was the cassette player, where you would have to like record a cassette off like Hot 97. We press play and record at the same time. and you're like, DJ's like, and the next song is blah 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 blah, and you're just like, shut the fuck up, man, I'm trying to record this song. You know, you hit play record, and then like he's like, pew, 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 pew.
Or like you trying to record something off the radio, and then like you only get like that one take, and it's gone.
Yeah, that's it. Or he'll play like Funk Master, Funk Master, Funk Master Flex Night. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up, man. I'm trying to record this R&B song to play for my girl because I'm making a mixtape. That was some shit, bro. That's how you got it. You were in it with the mixtapes. If you liked a girl, you made a mixtape of like Boys to Men, Mariah Carey, All for One, and you were like, listen, I made this for you. I want you to listen to it over the weekend.
Mixtape was in between
after
like
9 when my minutes are free on Saturday, and we'll talk.
Mixtape was like in between like, hey, I like you, how you doing, and I love you. Like that was like in between, like I just said this and I'm not ready to say this. I'm gonna make her a mixtape.
That's it. And you're
but
like,
I like how my man shouted out the 3 minutes after 9.
You know what I'm talking about.
And then he got the mixtape back and he was listening to it dolo and he loved all the songs anyway. So he basically made it for himself.
No, because then I made CDs and I was like, yo, check out my mix. And it was just, man. Listen.
All right. Yo, we're getting like close now. I think we've been like close to like 40 minutes, but we definitely got some other stuff to go over.
We got a lot more to talk about. So I suggest we get that going.
Yeah.
This has been real. D, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, D.
Appreciate you,
man.
D.
We love you, D.
One love, baby.
Yo, to all our followers, please go give us some feedback, you know, respond, reply, write some comments and stuff. Give us some follows, subscribes, help us share.
I love you, Dad.
You guys know where we're at, Facebook, YouTube.
We appreciate all the new followers and everything lately.
Yes,
so
thank you so much.
YouTube
Everybody.
has
We
definitely
appreciate the
helped
listeners.
us. Yeah, YouTube has definitely helped us skyrocket. We definitely appreciate that.
This is fun.
All right, guys. Well,
we'll see you for part 2 coming up.
Until next week.
Later.